Weartesters back again. This is Duke 4005 with another performance review. This time a shoe that's been out for a few months. I don't owe any apologies because I just got these in about a month ago. I've put them through the testing period, and I really am still impressed with this company. This time it's the Peak TP9.2 from Peak Sports USA. My man Miguel over there hooked me up with these. I was waiting on this colorway to come out. That's why they're a little bit late. I really like this French blue colorway, the red trim. This was the shoe that he was going to wear in the World or European, whatever it was, championships to get qualified for the Olympics. And it's really Peak is really on the rise with this shoe if you haven't tried it yet. So let's get into the performance review, and we'll go over the details and see what we think. Okay, so the first thing, like we always do, is go get the materials. We've got a Fuse upper just like we had on the edition they brought out last year. I received the Alamo colorway last year, and this upper is a little bit thinner feeling. It's not any less sturdy, durable, but it feels a little bit more like it's going to flex a little bit better with your foot. You do have this synthetic overlay around the toe right here for toe drag. Again, for all those Euro steppers that I've got in the audience, this should help with the durability of this shoe greatly when you do that James Harden little two-step through the lane. Going back to the heel, we've got a little more of the continued synthetic along the heel here, the midfoot here, comes up into the heel collar. The tongue, you can see it's got the mesh tongue on here, and you can see through it if I can get it on the camera. Not really, but you can see through it. It's that well ventilated. Got a little bit of ribs in there for some lace pressure relief on that. The cushioning in it is the Gradient Dual. We'll get into that more a little bit later. I love the Gradient Dual on the TP Lightning and on the TP9.1 that we had last year. It's just it's a plush feeling cushioning. It's not very responsive, but it does absorb anything you throw at it. Like I said, we'll get into that a little bit later. Don't want to get ahead of myself here. One thing I really did like on this shoe is the laces. They look like just normal oval laces, but they're braided with this white material running through them. It keeps them tied. That's really a simple thing, but keeps the laces tied and keeps that support system from the laces coming in. So getting into fit, I'll say true to size. Peak keeps sending me 11s. I don't know why. I've told them 10.5 ever since the first shoe for Tony Parker was talked about, and they send me 11s every time, and the lengthwise is not a bad thing. I like about a thumb's width between my end of my big toe and the end of the shoe. Gives me a little movement if anything happens in there, that I'm not crammed against the end of the toe of the shoe. And lengthwise, these fit great. Heel fit was locked down. This Y-bar right here really does just lock your foot in place in the back. The ankle cut, the collar of it locks it in. It's got some thick plush padding in the ankle, so you're able to lock that in too. The lacing system is great. As you can see, it's got the notches cut out here for a little bit of extra flex. All of that works perfect. The only part I really have a problem with is this buckle. And it's right here in the forefoot. When I pull it tight, it buckles up like this, and I don't know if the shoe's just cut wide because it's about a half size big. If it's just cut wide because that's the way it's cut. I won't say my foot is wide because pretty much every other shoe that I have, except for a couple of pair of Lee Nings, fits the same way. The Lee Nings also have that little bit of width problem here in the forefoot, and I don't want to sound racist or anything, or that's an American Chinese thing, but it may be a Chinese cut. I'm not sure. Some of my overseas Chinese readers can tell me, or are Americans' feet skinny? I don't know. That could be what it is. But anyway, they fit them a little bit wide through here. Not enough that I'd call the fit bad. It's just, it looks funny. It looks like I have a duck foot. So, Donald Duck on your team running at the gym, you'll know it's me. All right, we'll get into traction next, and it's full-length herringbone, which makes me extremely happy. Should make everybody out there extremely happy. Full-length herringbone works. We've talked about this before, so there should be no questions. Full-length herringbone, it works. Thumbs up, gets the approval. One thing I do like about the way Peak did this, and I noticed it in the first shoe, is they put these flex grooves in the forefoot. Very helpful. The flex in here is something people are just figuring out. It seems that it helps with traction. The more give your shoe has, the easier your foot is to dig in and take off, and anything that'll give me a little extra traction at this stage in my life, I'm all for. It is a flat pattern. If you'll notice here, what I say by flat is you can see it runs across even with the outsole of the shoe. Doesn't stick out much. Doesn't seem to matter in this shoe though. This shoe sticks to everything. just like the TP9 last year that I had, the TP9.1. The only difference is the TP9.1 had a translucent area in the forefoot that did seem to pick up dust a little more. This rubber is a little bit more pliable, a little bit stickier. It doesn't pick up dust near as bad, which surprisingly, being stickier, I thought it would. But it's a very good traction pattern. Okay, as for outdoor play, I do feel like the shoe will hold up very well outdoors. The traction pattern is fairly deep. You can see right here, it is pretty pliable, so you might get some wear on it. I have played in these outdoors a few times, as you can see from all my rocks and all the dirt and everything, grass stains, whatever else you can find in here. But I have played outdoors in these. They don't show much wear at all, either on the upper or on the traction grinding down. So I have a feeling with the materials used in the upper of this shoe and the traction pattern, you're going to be good on these outdoors for quite a while. And since we're already on the traction here, looking at the bottom of the shoe, let's get into the cushioning. Again, it's the Gradient Dual like we talked about. If you haven't worn a Gradient Dual before, this is your cushioning that you'll find if you could cut this shoe away, which I'm sure our friends at Long 7 will do. The red is a little softer from what I understand. The blue is a denser feeling, and it's going to give you better push off. If you'll notice where it's located, it's going to be right under the ball of your foot and under your big toe for push off. It's kind of like if you've worn the CP3 or 8. It's got the targeted zoom under each area in the pods, and it just gives you a better court feel, a better push off. The heel has got a cutaway window here, and you can see how the Gradient Dual comes in again. The blue right under is going to be a little firmer, the red's a little softer. Gives you that spot where you can really push off of. Now, if you haven't worn Gradient Dual before, you're probably going to ask me, does it work? I would say yes, it does work for exactly what it's supposed to do. It's different properties than Micro G, than Zoom Air, than Boost, and it performs differently. If you've worn an Adiprene shoe from Adidas, or I won't say Lunar because honestly I like this better than Lunar. It's a lot like Adiprene. It absorbs the impact and disperses it across the forefoot where you're not just getting under the ball of your foot, under your toe, under your lateral area. It hits here and disperses the energy across. There's not much feedback in it like you would get from a Boost shoe where it would bounce back and feel like it's pushing you forward, but there's no impact either felt on your body, especially in the heel area. You land in it and it's much like an Asics gel running shoe. You land in it and it disperses across that gel. Same thought here. It disperses across that area and you get no pain shooting back up your legs. I don't feel like it made me play any longer or play any better for the length of time I played, but it didn't do anything bad either. It's a foam cushioning system that does what foam should, and that's absorb your impact energy and keep you on the court. Now, I know in my last review I harped on the insoles of some companies that have been cheaping out lately, putting thin insoles in instead of thicker plush insoles that really help your comfort. And I want to get on this too, but this is in a good way. Let me reach under here and come out with the magic. This is an insole from this shoe. Peak does insoles right. You can see the ridges here that go under your forefoot. It's much like the Kobe 9 Lunar inserts that had the texture to it that are supposed to keep your foot from sliding around. There's no problem in this shoe with your foot sliding around. You can see the heel crash pad here. It's not as dense as some of the old Reebok heel crash pads you used to see, but it gets the job done very well. And then of course you've got your pattern here that goes over the Gradient Dual and the forefoot, just kind of a mapping system to show. But here's the part I really want to show. You can see the thickness and the texture on the bottom of this midsole. Check that out. Cell here that allows any kind of moisture to dissipate. Just this is the way an insole should be done. I know I gave thumbs up to Under Armour last review. Thumbs up to this one. Good job, Peak. Right, getting into the support of the shoe, most of the support is going to come from this heel cup. It's not very solid. It's just a clear piece of TPU wrapped around the back. It is textured. Got some cool little TP9 detail here in the back. If I can get that glare off my lights to come through. It's just got his initials and his number on it. Got his initials here, his number on the inside here. Again, it's not very stiff at all, not very solid at all. But the way the system wraps up around your ankle and around your foot, you're not going to have much moving in there anyway. Your foot is locked in completely. Another piece on the support segment is your outrigger here, which this is one of the biggest outriggers I have seen in quite some time. You can see how it cuts away from the shoe right there. It does make the forefoot feel a little bit, I don't want to say clunky, because I didn't really feel slowed down or anything. I did catch it a couple of times on some lateral moves, trying to stay in front of my man while he was driving. I'll be honest, I fell. I got crossed. Outrigger grabbed the floor. I fell. I did fall. Okay. Have a laugh. But it is big. If you're skilled with a razor knife, you could take and cut part of that off and make it a little bit thinner. You might get a little better movement out of it. Again, it wasn't bad. It caught me a couple of times. You do have a midfoot support structure. It's a hard TPU piece through here. It connects to this window under the heel, and your foot's you're not getting that plantar fasciitis bend at all. It's solid. You're not going anywhere. So the support in this shoe, fantastic. One thing I will bring up on this shoe, well, actually two things, sorry, bear with me. Ventilation, again, from a Fuse shoe, you know it's not going to be very good. You've got these vents cut into the sidewalls right here. Those vents are nothing. You can't even see my finger through them. So that tells you what kind of ventilation you're getting from that. So everything you're getting ventilation-wise comes from this small area of the tongue right here, and even that is, I mean, you can just barely see my finger through it. So ventilation-wise, you are going to get soaked. Just get ready for it. You'll take these things off and have Shrek feet. You will have a swamp in your shoe. The fit is so good, though, from the midfoot and the heel, that I didn't feel there was any kind of movement that allowed any kind of blisters to rub from that sweat coming in my shoe. The other thing is weight. A couple of guys at my gym that I play with, I took them off. They want to check them out because they like to check out anything new that I get. And the first thing they said was, wow, these are heavy. And they are heavier than what you would get with a Kobe or even the Mellow M11 Christmas series shoe, which is what I had on when I was testing these. I bring two pair just in case the gym floor sucks. I know that shoe works. So they are a little bit heavier. They weigh about what a LeBron 11 does, which I didn't think that shoe was heavy. I've played in some boots before in my life, so it's up to you. If you do think it's heavy, just beware that that's about what you're getting with this shoe weight-wise. The fit-wise is better than the LeBron 11. The flexibility is better, so you don't really feel the weight as much as you would, but just be aware if that bothers you, that's what you're getting. Alright, so to wrap up, TP9.2, very solid shoe, very good shoe. I wouldn't put it in my top 5 of the year, but it's right outside that line, probably number 7 or 8 so far that I've tested this year. It just goes back to the quality of shoes that other brands are putting out. You've got Under Armour, you've got Peak, you've got Li-Ning, you've got Brand Black. All of those companies are putting out very solid shoes, very good alternatives to what the big boys are putting out there. If you're looking for a shoe with good cushioning, good court feel, good flexibility, and good durability, look no further. This is a shoe for you. If you're looking for a lightweight rocket that you want to strap on your feet and get up and down the floor, this is not lightweight by any means, but the fit and the court feel make up for any extra weight that you'd encounter when you're comparing these to a shoe like a Kobe or a Crazy Light or even a Dame Adidas Lillard one. The pricing is right, especially now. I believe there's some pairs on sale for $89 on Peak Canada and Peak Sports USA. Check those out if this is something you're interested in. Again, thank you, Peak Sports USA, Miguel, for sending these out. I look forward to the next year's edition, trying to get my hand on some of those Peak monsters also so we can get a review done. Miguel, if you're watching this, hook me up, man. Come on, send some out. One last thing, guys, the shirts, you might be able to still get some on the website. I'm not for sure. These fit true to size with whatever you wear as a Nike dry fit Adidas t-shirts. They're very comfortable, very lightweight, moisture wicking shooting shirts. Plus it's got the Weartesters label on the front, so you can't go wrong with that. For now, Duke 4005 again. Next performance review coming up. Brand Black, JC2. I'll have it done next week. Thanks guys for watching, and see you later.